All right, hey guys, welcome to tonight's team call. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to deal with noise on social media, and it is September 17th. I can't believe, every time I look at the date, I kind of get freaked out. Well, not freaked out, but the wedding is in less than 2 months, so I'm just like, crunch time. I shouldn't have kept you guys unmuted. But if you had to choose one of these to get rid of for the rest of your life, which would you choose, cheese or chocolate? And for me, it's hands down chocolate. Like, I can live without chocolate, but cheese and pizza and just everything with cheese on it, I don't think. I'm Italian, so I can't give up cheese. But I would love to hear from you guys. What would you give up, cheese or chocolate? You're all Brooke, let's go with you first, since you're below me on the screen.
That's really hard because I like both, but I also feel like I could give up both.
Right? It's not too bad to give up either or. We'll live.
I'd probably do cheese if I had to choose.
Okay. What about you, Christina?
I'd pick cheese. Chocolate's life, so you can't give up.
Chocolate is really good. What about you, Megan?
Well, I can give up chocolate because I can still eat candy. I can't live without my cheese. There's no substitute.
I know. That is true. There is no substitute for cheese. Cheese is cheese. And then what about you, Jo Marie?
I would give up cheese. I need chocolate.
That's amazing. And what about you, Jen?
I would give up chocolate.
Really? I was going to say, I would have sworn you would be cheese.
No, I like pizza too much.
That's true. Pizza is life. I was actually just telling Brian last week, or this past weekend, I was like, Brian, it's been a really long time since I've had pizza, and I'm kind of craving just the cheesy goodness. But our favorite pizza place right down the road closed down, so now I don't even want to go anywhere else because it was just so good there.
Oh.
I know. Such a bummer. Alrighty, I'm gonna get started. Let's just meet y'all real quick again. All right, so just some shout outs for Success Club right now. Jenny is at 8. I'm at 6. Courtney is at 2, which is awesome. She's a brand new coach, and she already helped someone. Miranda is also at 2, which is really, really awesome. I'm so proud of her. She's on the call tonight. And then Megan's at 2. We got her first coach. I'm so proud of her. And then Marissa is also at 2, and I'm pretty sure this is Marissa's first client. So this is super awesome, and I'm so excited to see some new names on the board. And I mean, we're midway through the month, so we still have a little bit of time, but the challenge group started today. So of course, the first week is prep week, and you have maybe another day or two to get any stragglers started. But that is so awesome, guys, and I am so freaking proud of you. Also, that's so funny that you guys can draw on this. I never know how to do that. I would totally do that to Alexis and mess with her while she was giving her presentation. Oh, I love messing with her. Okay, so mark your calendars, announcements. We kind of went through these all last week, but we're just going to go through them again really quick. So the book club started last Monday. We're reading The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. I just finished up chapter 6 today. It's been super awesome. I'm a pretty driven. It's kind of crazy because once you start reading it, you kind of just think about all the decisions you make throughout the day, and you're wait, I didn't even take time to think to make that decision. I just did it. And then it's well, why can't we just do that for those decisions that'll change our life? So it's kind of cool to think about life in that way. It's just it's just made up of small decisions throughout the day that really bring your goals into focus, or whatever it is that you're pushing for. Challenge group starts today, like I said. Also, PSL Vegan Shakeology launch started today. It's first come, first serve, and they are only selling as many as they made. So as soon as they sell out, and they're not making any more. I definitely got my box today under Brian's account. So if you have a spouse signed up under you, I'd highly recommend ordering the PSL Vegan Shakeology under your spouse's account, so you get the volume for that. So it's a double volume. You get it for their account, and you also get it for your account. Coaching sneak peek is not this week, but next week from Tuesday to Thursday. So I would recommend starting to invite to it probably Wednesday of this week. So you kind of give, or maybe even tomorrow. So you give people about a week to respond, and then they could be added to it. Coaching sneak peeks are so useful, and I find that every time I put potential people in there, I always have people sign up as a coach. So it's super, super important to have people that are interested in coaching join this group. It's just a free group, an informational group where we all just talk about coaching and what it entails, and just show people that it's not like some huge scary thing that they should be afraid of. And then, of course, team calls are every Monday night at 9. You guys know that since you're on. And then team confidence calls are every Tuesday at 8:45. And then the new mastermind calls, I'm so sorry I had to cancel last week. I was so sick I couldn't even talk. But we're on for this week for sure. It's at 8:30 p.m. every Thursday. And they're just a really great way for us to all hang out, share ideas, and just kind of get new ideas and bounce ideas off of each other and really just make the most of our time together. Because, like, I do these team calls because I think they'll help you, but I would much rather listen to you guys talk than myself talk. So I just love having those calls with you guys and just hearing your ideas. So this is also the final month to get the VIP access to Lift 4 and Messe des Mas for a discount. And you guys know, sorry, Canadians, not until October 11th for the vegan Shakeology. But I promise you they will be coming out. And then there's also a 5-box limit. I only got one because I know, don't hate me for this, but I'm not like a PSL fan. So I just wanted to try it just to have it. And then like also have giveaways for people because they're in packets, they're awesome giveaways. And you could actually even say to people that are like on the fence about joining as a coach or as a client, you can be like, listen, I just got like limited time only PSL. If you join as a client or a coach, like I'd be more than happy to give this limited time only flavor away kind of thing. And To Be Mindset certification course, you can register now. There's also the Team Beachbody apparel sale. You can get 25% off full price items. And if you haven't registered for Summit yet, do it. It's going to be awesome. Okay. And this is just, I wanted to kind of talk about this as well. And it's nothing, it's just like, so life is tough, but so are you. And I know a lot of people on this team are going through some transition in one shape or way. I don't even know what I was trying to say there, but in some shape or form, that's what I was going for. And it's tough. Transition's tough. It's never easy. And, you know, running a business while you're also going through this transition is even harder. But I want you guys to know that this is the time that life is testing you, and it's saying, hey, do you want this? Because if you want this, you're going to work through this tough time, and you're going to keep going, and you're going to keep pushing, even though this is knocking you 5 steps back. And it sucks while you're going through it, but I promise you, you will thank yourself in the future for going through or just like pushing through. And maybe you don't want to show up every day. Like I definitely, like when I was sick, I definitely didn't want to show up every day, but I did. I showed up, and well, for the most part, besides the mastermind call, I showed up and I made myself heard. And like life throws things your way that are going to derail you. It's going to happen eventually. And it's important to stay on track and stick with your goals. And like, of course, I'm not telling you have to work like 15,000 hours while these things are happening, but just show up each day for yourself. That's it. Like, you know, do your workout, grab your Shakeology, eat right. And like, I promise you, it'll make such a big difference in the long run. And people will see that and they'll be like, I want that girl to be my coach. Like, she is so freaking inspiring. I just want to kind of, because I noticed, like, and even over the summer too, I want you guys to know summer is a slow season. So if you found that you were having a hard time running the business during the summer, it's totally normal. I know I was traveling so much. People are traveling, kids are out of school, things are crazy. So I want you to know that if you, like, you know, are really pushing during the summer, and you didn't really see so much success, it's a slow season. So now things are going to start picking up. Kids are back in school. People are back on their routines. They want to get healthy and in shape after all the summer festivities. So be patient. You know, show up, be consistent, and things will fall into place. Also, another thing too that I just kind of want to remind you guys is if you are running your own challenge groups or in my challenge group, it's so important as a coach to show up in those challenge groups, whether it be just like posting your sweaty selfies or posting your Shakeology, commenting on other people's posts, because if your clients see that you're not showing up, they're not going to show up, and then it's just not going to be good. So make sure that you are showing up for the people that you want to help. Like, you got into coaching for a reason, because you want to help people. And if you're not showing up for yourself, then people are going to be like, well, like, she's not showing up, like I don't have to, kind of thing. So it's so important to show up, to set a really great example for your clients and your team. Another thing too, this was talked about on the last mastermind call that I forgot to bring up on last team call, but I wanted to just go through it. So if you are doing your inviting to coaching and people want more information, do not word vomit on them. The next question, and I know it's like, you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like they want more info, and you're just like, okay, like I have all the scripts like set up and I just want to send it to them and like they'll get everything. The first question I ask is when someone says, hey, I'm interested, tell me more. I follow up with a question. I'm like, okay, like that's awesome. I am so excited that you are interested, but can you tell me what about this opportunity interests you? And they will spoon feed you what you should say next. So like, I actually just had a girl today and she said, I work part-time and I'm looking for something to fill my free time and I already work out. And so like having the extra motivation and everything would be perfect. And then you literally tell her what she wants out of this, because that she'll get everything she wants out of it. So like the next thing I said to her was, oh my gosh, girl, you're in totally the right place. I do this part-time as well and I absolutely love it. It fills my free time and it also helps me create a side income. And also like, I totally understand you with the working out. Like I used to work out all the time, but now, as like a college athlete, but then after that, I didn't really have the team sports or anything like that. So it was so nice to have a community of people that are all working out and eating healthy, and I think you would just fit right in. So it's so important to figure out why they want to become a coach or why they want to become a client. So that way you can really help them with their goals. And it's just important, like personal skills too. Like you don't want to say someone came up to you and they're like, hey, are you interested in this iPhone? And you're like, yeah, sure. Like I'd be interested. And then they start telling you about all the logistics of the iPhones and the setting. And you're like, okay, like I'm just kidding. Like that's way too much. I don't need all that information. So really make sure you're honing in onto why the person wants what they want and how you can help them get what they want. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and the rest of this I actually have some notes I wrote down. So this is all about getting rid of the noise on your social media. And like, I know I've been struggling with this a lot lately, so it's really nice that I came across this call by Melanie Mitchell and was watching it, and I was like, oh my God, that's so me. So I don't know about you guys, but like I get anxiety when there's like too much social media around me. Like I never know what to pay attention to or like what I should be scrolling, like whatever it is. Like I get so anxious when it comes to social media because there's just so much being thrown and bombarded at you at all times. So I wanted to just tell you guys like 5 steps onto kind of just how to remove yourself from social media and like be present in your life and not have social media like run your subconscious brain. Because I know, and like even for me, when I have a second to myself, like the only thing I'm thinking about is like, oh, like what could I do better? Like I could do this, I could do that. Like, I don't give myself a chance to breathe. And I realized that this weekend, like I actually had a couple hours to just chill. And I felt anxious because I was like, I should be doing something. Like I should be doing something. So it's really important to quiet your mind daily. So these are my 5 tips on like kind of how to just create clarity and peace. And I also think we need this in like the business because there's so many other coaches out there. There's so many things that you could be doing, so many YouTube videos to watch, all this stuff. It's very distracting. And so it's really important to put your blinders on and focus on what you need to do. So number 1 is set your intentions first thing in the morning. Don't pull out your phone or your computer until after you do this. So I like to take my time in the morning. Like I wake up, the first thing I do is read personal development. I'll read my chapter of personal development, put that away. And then what I like to do is I like to write down things that I am grateful for. And Brooke, you're actually doing that on your stories right now, which I think is so clever. And I need to start doing that. So you write down what you're grateful for. It's so important to start each day with a grateful heart. Like the more abundance you focus on, the more you attract, that the universe has your back kind of thing. So maybe make sure you're focusing on abundance. And I know it's not always easy, but be grateful each and every day for at least one thing. And sometimes Brian and I will even share what we're grateful for before bed. So like we'll tell each other 3 things we're grateful for. And then another thing is ask yourself, who needs you to show up as your best self today? And why are you going to show up for this person or whoever it is? Or maybe it's not even a person. Maybe it's your cat, like my little baby sitting by my feet. So ask yourself, who needs you to show up today and be on your A game? Because that way you're setting intention and you know what you need to do to have a productive day. So this is like number 1 tip. is silence certain people on your social media. So if you find that you are like creeping on someone hard all the time, for me, it's definitely Haley Christensen. There's just something about that girl that gets me. I don't know what it is about her, but I just like can't stop watching her Instagram story. She's so crazy. But if you follow someone on social media that is taking your energy away, guard that energy. Like, that's your energy. Don't be giving it to people that don't need it, kind of thing. Like, Haley Christian's great, and like I want to give her my energy because she's so funny. But it's not doing anything for me. If anything, it's just distracting me, and I'm playing a comparison game in my head every time she tells me how much she earns, kind of thing, and that's just not healthy for me. And you have to guard that energy. So if you find anyone on social media that you are like every time you log in, like you're always looking at their stuff, like you're watching their stories, whatever it is, block them, silence them, do whatever you have to do, unfriend them if you need to, and just make sure you're focusing on your energy on the right people. Another thing is unplugging. So this is the second tip, is unplugging. So schedule time for social media. When I talked about this last week, or I think, about scheduling business hours throughout your day. So if you have, like, I have business hours from, like, after I do my personal development and all that stuff in the morning, I have about an hour where I follow up with all my people in Streak. Now, I know exactly what I have to do in that hour. I get in, I don't like scroll anything, I do what I got to do, and I get out. And then, from then on, I'll do my workout and everything, and then I'll go to work. And then when I'm at work, I don't work. And then during my lunch break, I'll work for an hour. And I know exactly the tasks I need to get done during my lunch break. I get in, I get out, I don't scroll. Because I know I only have a limited amount of time to do things. And then when I get home from work, I know I have about an hour to work again. So this is when I do go to work. Of course, this is a little different when I'm working from home. Again, when I get home from work, get in, get out, spend time with Brian. So it's really, really important to schedule time for your social media and then getting out, just removing it. Don't even bring, sometimes we just go for walks and we don't bring our phones. Like, schedule times to just be away from social media or just like anything that can distract you. And I promise you, you will get so much clarity in your mind when you do that. And when you know, like, oh, I don't have my phone in my back pocket where I can just check my messages. Like, believe me, the messages can wait. So just schedule time each day for you, and also schedule your time blocks for social media. Number 3 is, so this is actually something really great that I needed to hear, especially with all the wedding stuff coming up. Don't ask for everyone's opinion when you need to make a decision, because people are just going to tell you what they want you to do, not what you want to do. So whenever you have a decision to make, whether it be what shoes should I buy for the wedding, or what diet should I choose, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, like all that stuff, make those decisions for you. So I know it's so tempting, especially with all the reviews out there and all your friends and family, and they all just want to give you their opinions about stuff. And I know it's so tempting to ask for their opinions, but those are their opinions, not yours. And it's just like, and of course, like, you can ask a loved one or something for advice, but at the end of the day, what I like to do now is, if I have like some really big decision that I got to make, I will journal it out. I'll just write it down. I'll write down the pros and cons of things, and you have to decide for you have to decide for yourself and make the decision for you. And I promise you'll be so much happier with the end result, because you made that decision and you put in the time to really focus on you and your energy and making that decision for yourself. And like I said, it can be super distracting if you go into social media and you're like, oh, like, maybe I should do keto or paleo or whatever it is. Like, there's so many different opinions out there, and you got to ask yourself, what's best for me? So another thing is 4, be intentional about shutting out negativity. So if you have a negative coworker, negative friend, negative family member, negative spouse or significant other, and like, hopefully they're not negative all the time, but when they are, just, listen to them, but then shut it out, walk away, do something different. Hopefully the negativity is not directed at you, but if it is, I mean, hey. But just be intentional about shutting down negativity. Like, I know, for example, my aunts, when they get together, they just chat back and forth about like what ailment, what's hurting them, what's wrong with their spouses, blah, 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 blah. And they'll start with that, and I just politely remove myself. I don't say anything. I just walk away. And it's so nice not to have that crap like going into my brain. surround yourself with people that lift you up. And I know we have an amazing team of women that just like all lift each other up, but we all have those negative Nancy's. And like, I have one of those women at my job, and I was working with her very closely when I first started, and then I realized how negative she was, and I literally, like, this sounds so mean, but I will like say hi to her in the morning, and I'll say goodbye to her at night, and I'll always greet her with a smile, but I just remove myself from being like around her all the time, and it has done wonders. Like, her alone brought my mindset down so far, and like now I don't even have to deal with her, and I feel so much better. I have so much more headspace. She was literally eating me alive with her negativity. So be intentional about shutting negative people out of your life and surround yourself with people that lift you up. So number 5, my last tip is ask yourself, with this business and in life in general, are you doing what's actually working? Or are you just doing tasks to check them off the list and you're not really seeing any results from them? Like, are you gaining something from this, from whatever task you're doing? Is someone else gaining something from this, from whatever task you're doing? So make sure you ask yourself, is what I'm doing working? And if it's not, don't be afraid to switch it up. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So it's super important, especially in this business, is to be creative and just think outside the box. Like, you guys, and I tell you this all the time, you guys have amazing ideas and are way smarter than I am. And so I love learning from you, because there are so many ways to work this business, and there's so many ways to help people, that it's so important to be creative and like think outside the box and see, okay, this works for Danielle, great, but this doesn't work for me. And like, to be able to say like, okay, this doesn't work for me, and switch it up and change it up. So I hope those tips helped. And like, it's really easy, like I said, to just kind of get sucked into that social media noise and just hearing what everyone has to say, but it's really important to take quiet time. And I need to do this more often. And I actually have been telling both my parents and Brian that I'm like, I need to take like a full day, or just to like relax my mind and decide like where I need to improve, where I need to go, like what things I need to work on and focus on. But it's really important to do that, and just like realize that you need the time to do that, because I'm the kind of person that I will burn the candle at both ends until it will literally run me into the ground with a sickness. Exhibit A. So it's really important to take time each day to like really do something for you and take me time to quiet your mind. And it might not be easy, and it takes practice. And like, especially me, it takes 20, like if I want to go into a meditation, it literally takes like 15 to 20 minutes to actually get my mind to quiet. But then once it does, it's like the most amazing feeling ever. And it's so restorative that I just like, I don't know, I love doing it. So these are some like action things that I wanted to kind of go through really quick. And you can like write these down, or just kind of like make a mental note of these. So I want you guys to ask yourself, what chatter is consuming you? And really just like, what's consuming you? What do you think what are you thinking about all the time that really doesn't need your energy? And like, just focus on that, and then shut it out. Like, especially if it's on social media, there's so many easy ways to just shut it out. Another thing is, who is feeding you their agenda? So this kind of goes into when you ask for help with making decisions, like, who's feeding you their, like, who are you asking, or who's just telling you what they want you to do, even though it's like, it's their decision. Like, I mean, it's your decision, not theirs. So who's feeding you their agenda, and kind of realize that. And of course, like, like listen to what they have to say, but then if, something does not align with your energy, like, be okay with just being like, okay, like, thank you so much for the advice, I'll definitely take it into consideration, kind of thing. So make sure you're not being pushed around by other people's agendas. Like, you are you, and you live your life. Don't let them live your life for you. Then also, like I said, start every day with a grateful heart. So I recommend just like, it doesn't even have to be like a whole laundry list of things. It can literally just be one thing a day. Just think about one thing every single morning that you're grateful for. And also, like, this is another thing, is whenever you're faced with decisions, like I said, you have to ask yourself, what is the right decision for me? And like, really take time to, like, if it's a really tough decision, take time to really focus on it and give it your energy and decide from there. And then again, take time to practice quieting your mind. And it's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to happen every day like you want it to. It's just practicing, because it's a skill. Practicing your mind is totally a skill. I mean, silencing your mind is totally a skill, and it's something you have to practice, and it's something that is so freaking good for you and your health and your mental health that I just can't stress it enough. And I need to do more of it. I'm like literally I'm being a hypocrite by telling you guys this, and not doing it myself. But I'm totally going to start doing this. And I told Brian this is like one of the things that I really need to start doing. And I like plan to do it pretty much every single day if I can. So that all being said, does anyone have any questions? Is this helpful? Do you find this like resonated with you? I know it's something that we can all probably struggle with a little bit, especially in this business, but y'all are in it for the right reasons. Where's the thing? I can never find, oh, there it is. All right, y'all are unmuted. Does anyone have any questions about anything or like want to share anything, any ideas that has helped them quiet their mind?
There's this girl, her name is Amber. Here, I'll put her in the chat box. But I follow her, and she's like huge on like basically exactly everything you just said about not letting negative energy and all that like consume your life. She's like kind of a total hippie yoga person, but she's a Beachbody coach, and she a while ago like unfollowed a bunch of people just because they were like consuming her feed, and she was getting like so overwhelmed by it, and I ended up unfollowing like 400 people, and I like got all rejuvenated to like be on social media again, just because like those people weren't like filling up my feed, and so many more positive people were. But she's like really good at giving tips for like not letting negativity consume you, and like she's just really good at giving good tips.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna go follow her. That's great. Yeah, it's nice when you shut out like you don't need that, you know, and like it sneaks in there without you realizing, and then all of a sudden you're kind of feeling like down or anxious or stressed out, and then like once you get rid of them, you actually realize how liberating it is, you know. Amber. Christina, did you want to share?
Oh yeah. So this week has kind of just like been like a rough week, I guess, for the business and like my mindset in that part, because literally like 3 people I think that I've been following on social media, and I've like mentioned to them and like invited them to stuff for like groups, and they're like, no, not right now, and then like they each were like, oh, I just got Shakeology, or like one girl's like, hey, you do Beachbody, right? And I was just like, and I was like beating myself up about that kind of stuff, and I had like the negative mindset, been like, oh, how could they do that? Like, what the heck? They know I was a coach. But then I just had to remind myself, like, you just have to be happy for them. At least they're starting like on their own health and fitness journey. That's like the whole point of this thing, is for people to get healthy, like regardless of who's their coach or not. And so I think just like stopping those negative thoughts as like soon as you can, and just obviously can bring them to like a positive, like remembering like what we're here for, is like has helped me out kind of get over that, where I'd be still stuck on it like today and being like, what the heck, this is so dumb. Like, so yeah, that kind of helped me. And then yeah, just like unfollowing people who are like super negative, especially like political negative and that kind of stuff. I just want to deal with that. I'm like, that's okay. So yeah, it's not Beachbody related, but it just helps with my mindset. So
no, thank you so much for sharing that. It's so true. It's like once you practice it a bit, you get better and better at it, but like realizing those negative thoughts before they like get just like ingrained in your soul, and like pushing them back, you're like, no, we're done here. Like, thanks, but no thanks. So that's really awesome that you've like been able to consciously realize like, hey, I don't need that kind of thing. I'm really happy for them. That's awesome.
I had a few girls do that to me too, and that was like super hard. But I also realized that not only like do you need to just be happy for them, but like sometimes they're just like not your tribe. Like for some reason you just didn't connect, and there was a reason for that. And then I've ended up finding different girls who like are way more my tribe and way more my vibe. And it's like, yeah, those people that sucked, that I was the first one I thought to talk to them about Beachbody, and they didn't sign up with me. But instead, I found girls who are way more my tribe, and I feel like there was a reason for that.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's something too, like Brooke, in the beginning of the business, like when I first started, I was just like hungry, and I would just like sign up anyone. And then like pretty much my longevity of coaches or clients like didn't really last because I wasn't looking for my tribe. And then when I started getting like super specific on like who I wanted on my team, everything just like fell into place. So like Brooke said, like everything happens for a reason, and the right people will come to you when it's time, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still trying to like find my tribe still. Like it's kind of like filtering. So I'm working on it.
It took me 2 years.
Yeah, that's like you were reminding myself. I'm like, Danielle, it took 2 years. So I've done this since March. So I'm okay.
Yeah.
Hang tight.
Anybody else want to share or have any questions?
So this is totally different because I'm not going to be on the mastermind call. But I do have an idea that I'm going to try out maybe the next month or so. So instead of like posting like, I'm looking for 10 people, 5 people, blah, 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 I'm just going to post like, I'm looking for an accountability partner, and just kind of make it seem more like intimate and see if that'll work. So just wanted to share that idea with y'all.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, well, Megan said, I think it was you, Megan, or Jo Marie, one of you two. I think it was you, Megan, that was talking about on the last mastermind call that we should have like success partners in the team, which I'm working on, because they just like, and I was actually thinking about that in the challenge group too. I was like, trios is like a little much. Why don't we just dumb it down to duos or partners? Like, I feel like it's so much easier to just check in with one person than two. So I love that idea. And I think it, like you said, it's more like relatable and it's more low key, and people might feel like really like comfortable doing that. So I love that idea. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear.
I will do.
Any other suggestions or questions? If not, I want to take a pic.
I'm like half asleep.
I know, Megan, you're such a trooper for staying up. I know you have to get up super early. All right, let's do this. Oh, Jo Marie, there you are. I was going to say come back. All right. All right. Oh, Megan, you are, there you go. I was going to say that bright light. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, so cute. All right. Awesome, girls. Well, thank you. Oh my God, this is so bright now. Does anyone else keep their computer on like the lowest setting on dimness? Oh my gosh. Eyes.
I do.
Yeah. Like my eyes get like sore. Well, thanks so much for hopping on tonight, girls. And I appreciate you hopping on, even though I know it's like late for a lot of you. But I hope you guys have a great week. And
I feel better.
You what?
Feel better.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get some sleep. Oh, and by the way, Brooke, I wanted to let you know that I have been like creeping hardcore on Colorado, and I'm already like itching to get back there and hike. So
Yes, that'd be so fun.
yeah. And then also I'm going on a lunch date tomorrow with like a potential coach, and it's like the same thing with you and Erin. So I was like, oh, I hope it works out the same way.
Yeah, seriously, it's so fun to have someone who lives right by you be a coach.
I would love that. I love all of you guys, but I wish you were all like next to me always. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.